Hello again. While I was out today in the town in one of my favourite second-hand bookshops, very, very old, dusty corner of a store, at the back of one of the shelves was this scruffy old book wrapped in brown paper, basically wedging the shelf forwards off the wall. And I just flicked the cover open, and to my surprise, it's called Chinese Gardens. It's a very old book. I think it's from the early 70s. But I think the pictures are from way, way back before that. The first half is a suite of plates of Chinese garden plans. I mean, that is incredible. The fact that I'm working with BioSphere and the Chinese painting and blah blah blah, and suddenly there's this book with Chinese garden. This is absolutely true. And I opened it up, and it's called Chinese Gardens. And in the middle, as you can see, are these incredible line drawings of the hills, the trees, the landscapes, the buildings. Just incredible. And Chinese garden design has a very long history. Of course, the Chinese were writing and painting 2,000-3,000 years before the West ever even knew what to do with a paintbrush. But they can be divided into two kinds. Chinese gardens can be divided into two types. There's the in-position viewing, lingering observation from fixed angles, and in motion viewing, moving observation from changing angles. So if you're designing your garden in BioSphere, this must be the first and foremost consideration before constructing a garden. The former means that there are more visual points of interest to appreciate from fixed angles, while the latter demands a longer touring vista. In small-scale gardens, the former type should be predominant and the latter secondary, and the reverse should be the case in large-scale gardens. An example of the former type is Wangshi Yuan, and of the latter, Zuzeng Yuan. In Wangshi Yuan, you'll discover many buildings in which you would love to sit and linger a while. You can make a tour of the pond, you can stand by the balustrade and count the swimming fish, or you can seat yourself in the pavilion and wait for the moon and greet the breeze. Outside the veranda, the shadows of flowers move along the walls, and basically you are there and you're observing what's around you from fixed points. And the serenity of the scene is enchanting. In Zuzeng Yuan, paths wind around a pond, and long corridors draw the visitors ahead. The view changes with every step, so that's what's meant by design for observation from changing angles. First comes the conception, then the design, and then the construction, and these are probably the most important choices you would make in your Chinese garden design. They're the two main kinds of garden. I haven't actually sat down and identified these plans as being one or the other. I'll have to have a look and see how they've been constructed, because I only got this book today. But first comes the conception, then the design, then the construction. And adequate attention must be paid to the character and area of the garden accordingly. The potted landscape, like bonsai, is mainly for viewing from fixed angles. But Chinese gardens, with their buildings, landscaping and different kinds of flowers and trees, they're integrated works of art, very picturesque. One thing I've noticed looking through these pictures that are coming up now, I don't have any of the architecture or buildings. I'll have to sit down and make some of those. Even 2 or 3 would set an exceptionally beautiful flavour. But B, some of them have incredible rock structures. And we need Reillusion, the people at Reillusion, we need rocks. And I don't just mean a little stack of Cannibal River stones that look sharp on the whole. We need something like the sort of rocks that make up like a mountain crop, one of those teetering angles on the edge of a hill. And with 6 faces, that basically gives you 6 times 6 different variations of the way that rock can look to the camera. So even if you made half a dozen, fairly large, so that we've got some really good definition, we could take some of these Chinese gardens and we could actually put some superb rock crops and outcrops in the gardens. But I've never found a resource like this before, and I was completely amazed when I saw this today. So that was it. It had my name on it, and I brought it back with me. But we do need those rocks, sort of boulders and those flat layered pieces of stone. I think if you've got BioSphere... Oh, I'd also like to know who else has got BioSphere and who's pushing it to its limits before the CPU starts blowing smoke. Because it's actually packed with potential. I mean, the things you can do with it are incredible. There, that's why we need the rocks, the lower half right of that shot back there, and there on the lower left we could put those rocks up there like that, dead easy. We could make the landscape in the land sculptor software, and these rocks here, we can place those and layer them around. We can sort of get away with it now with the rocks in the garden pack, but not quite. Not quite. The trees, all the trees they've got here. I mean, that is incredible. Just imagine that in winter and autumn and cherry blossom and plum blossom, the trees, and stunning. Absolutely stunning. The BioSphere can do all that. I'm going to make some of these gardens. I'm going to pick one really big garden and create it, but I've got to get the land sculptor first, because I want the architecture of the land to suit the plan exactly. So that would be a fantastic project. I'll do that after I've done the Chinese painting exhibition. I don't know about the architecture and the buildings. I'd like to have it finished before Christmas. I think with the power of the latest computers coming on the market as standard, and the power of the graphics card and the CPU and the RAM, etc., I think a garden like this, with iClone and BioSphere, you won't be pushing its limits at all. It'll handle it quite comfortably. I'll prove that that's a fact after I've done the Chinese painting exhibition. Anyway, take a look through these. I'll upload these into the gallery, and you can download all the plans and have a look through them yourself in high resolution. I think they're about 1200 by 800 or so. Okay, thanks for listening, and catch you later. Bye-bye.